When AT&T rolled out their 5G. When AT&T rolled out their 5G, they put it everywhere and anyone can see. At the park, the playground, radiating all around. The local farm and drug, you'll see it up above. At the club, at the bar, wherever you are. This song is about 5G. This song is about AT&T. This song is about millimeter microwave radiation, short range millimeter microwave radiation. They run enough juice into those fucking towers to fucking incinerate an entire city in like 15 minutes. 15 minutes, city. Copper cables the size of my arm, multiple copper cables, like a fucking girth like that big. They run so much juice into those fucking towers for short range broadcasting. So it's like it doesn't even broadcast internet that far, and they're running enough juice into that fucking tower to like incinerate the entire fucking county. And that's just one tower. I don't think you need that much juice to broadcast internet, especially short range. That's really not very efficient use of resources. There's something else going on. You're looking at some kind of weapon system. Yeah, it probably provides internet too, but that's just like a side note. Directed energy. When AT&T rolled out their 5G, they put it everywhere and anyone can see. At the park, the playground, radiating all around. The local farm and drug, you'll see it up above. At the club, at the bar, wherever you are. If you look hard enough, you know you're gonna find the stuff. We're swimming in it. Yes, we're swimming in it. We're swimming in a sea of directed energy, thanks to AT&T and 5G. If you go to the store, you might see 3 or 4. The police department out the window, your apartment. At the fire station, can almost taste the radiation. Free city, every town out in the cuts. You bet your ass the place is lit the fuck up. Every street, every boulevard, every avenue. You'll see them at museums, even see them at the zoo. If you're AT&T, there's nothing stopping you. Sometimes they wanna try to be a little more covert. They'll stick it in a flagpole, put it in the cross at church. And sometimes they really just wanna try to hide it, so they'll get creative and try to disguise it. They got those 5G evergreens and got the 5G panels that look like a palm tree. Oh yeah, AT&T, well we're swimming in it. La 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 la, swimming in it. Ooh la 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 la, swimming in a sea of directed energy. Thanks for 5G, thanks AT&T, we're swimming in it. Said we're swimming in it. Everyone, we're swimming in a sea of directed energy. Thanks Gee, thanks. AT&T spent $600 billion rolling out the hardware for 5G. $600 billion rolling out the hardware for 5G. Gee, that's a hefty penny to pay. They must really be raking in the money off of that investment. Because, everyone's just using the 5G, which is like, I'm just paying the same bill I always paid. How about you? Yeah, we're not really paying any extra money, now that you mention it. So, they rolled out a $600 billion worth of hardware, and they're just providing a service for us that we already had. So nobody's really paying any more money than they were paying before. So they're not really making any profit off their $600 billion investment. That seems kind of strange to me. Is that really how our economy works? How do these jerks expect to make any money off all that $600 billion they spent rolling out hardware, providing a service that we already had? I'm not sure I understand the logic there. Short-range radiation doesn't even really broadcast that far. They're sure running a lot of juice into those towers. That's not really an efficient way of doing what they claim to be doing. And like I said, $600 billion is a lot of money to invest in something when there's no immediate profit to be made. Other than people investing in it, of course, but it's a lousy investment, or at least short term. You're not really going to be very privy to what exactly it is you're investing in, because I don't really think that's all those towers are really meant to be used for. I think they have other purposes, and it's pretty clear to me that we're not getting the full story. And they're ugly as fuck, and they look rather menacing. They're not safe to be around, but they put them around you everywhere you go, so there you go. I guess it's just gonna have to be that way. I kinda liked it how it was the other way, when we didn't have to see the towers everywhere we go every day. It's just really ugly, and it doesn't seem to be the best idea safety-wise, and it's just like a huge eyesore when we didn't have to see it before. I say we've kind of like stepped down in the sense that our internet's just the same as it always was. It's not any better. It's just like we got duped, we got scammed, we got fucked, man. We just got told we're getting something good and better, and it's just the same shit we always had, but now we gotta stare at these big ugly towers everywhere we go. They're on top of the school, they're on top of the store, they're on top of every fucking place. They're right outside your window. I liked it how it was before. We didn't have to stare at those things everywhere we went. Remember when it used to be like, this thing where it's like, it would reduce your property value if you were near a cell phone tower? Whatever happened to those days? Now they're pretty much everywhere you look. And people like pay to get them on their property. They're like, we'll pay you $5,000 if you put a 5G tower right here. Oh, that's great. I could use 5Gs. For my 5Gs, to pay you 5Gs to get 5Gs installed. Maybe I'll just install 20 of these. I'll get 100 Gs. Gee, that would be great. I'll retire early. Yeah, you'll be retiring early, all right. It's not the kind of retirement you'd planned for, though. Hopefully you have someone in your family smarter than you who can do something with that 100 grand you made, because you're gonna bite the big one there, pal. There's no safety tests that were done. Well, I mean, there probably was, but they're not gonna tell you how those tests were and what they learned. They're just using them as weapons. Prior to this, they'd use them in the military. It's called active denial. Yes, it's a non-lethal intervention, they called it. Yep. just turned up a little bit higher. Yeah, if it don't kill you, just makes you feel like your skin's on fire. Everybody disperse. It's crowd dispersal. It's the worst situation you could really pretty much expect to have at the fingertips of the man who might decide to change his plan one day and say, hey, we're gonna disperse all you fuckers. Good thing we got all the hardware installed. We're gonna disperse your ass. It's just a handy dandy little side bonus that these towers provide for us. Imagine that. Well, that's pretty lucky for them. They have all the control and we don't got shit. Wonder how that happened. Yes, we're swimming in a sea of directed energy. Thanks. No, really, you should know. We're swimming in a sea. We're swimming in it. Sometimes they wanna try to be a little more covert. They'll stick it in a flagpole, put it in the cross at church. Sometimes they really just wanna try to hide it, so they'll get creative and try to disguise it. They got those 5G evergreens, even got the 5G panels that look like a palm tree. Yeah, AT&T, when AT&T rolled out their 5G, they put it everywhere and anyone can see. It's at the park, at the playground, radiating all around. At the local farm and drug, you'll see it up above. At the club, at the bar, wherever you are. You look hard enough, you know you're gonna find the stuff. We're swimming in it. Oh, you know that we're swimming in it. We're swimming in a sea of directed energy. Thanks for 5G. When you go to the store, you might see 3 or 4. At the police department, out the window, your apartment. At the fire station, you can taste the radiation. Every city, every town out in the cuts, you bet your ass the place is lit the fuck up. Every street, every boulevard, every avenue, you'll see them at museums, even see them at the zoo. If you're AT&T, there's nothing stopping you. Gee, thanks. Questions that were harder to find. And I know they will resurface. as coincidence. It's just easier for you to dismiss instead of swimming in your cognitive dissonance. Swimming in your cognitive dissonance. Swimming in your cognitive dissonance. But there's no such thing as coincidence. Life goes on happily ever after. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind, nothing to concern you at all, nothing to worry your mind, nothing to keep you awake at night. Happily ever after. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind, nothing to concern you, nothing to keep you awake at night. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind. Happily ever after. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind, nothing to concern you, nothing to keep you awake at night. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind, nothing to worry your mind. I'm running behind. I'm running behind, but still running slower than most. But you see, I like to coast, 'cause it's easier on my mind. It's just easier on my mind. Easier on my mind. Happily ever after. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind. Do you mind? Do you mind? When my mind is mine. When my mind is mud, I will laugh and laugh again. Try to find the sense of humor to be your friend again. Yeah, but your head is in the sand. You don't look like you have any other plan. Ooh, you have lost your charm, and it really shouldn't have to be this hard. No, it shouldn't have to be this hard. Shouldn't have to be this hard. No, it really shouldn't have to be this hard. Trouble comes in pairs. The third time's a charm. By the fourth time you don't see a pattern forming, man. Well, you just don't know what you've become. You just don't know what you've begun. Don't know what you've begun. No, you don't know what you've become. You don't You're just not gonna win. Woo! Just not gonna win. You're playing a game, you know. You're just not gonna win. You're just not going to win. Your story's starting to spin. You're just burning candles at both ends. You're playing a game that you know. You're just not gonna win. No, no, you're just not gonna win. You know you're just not gonna win. Yo, you're just not gonna win. No, you just are not gonna win, baby. When my mind is mud, I'm gonna be laughing 'cause I think it's funny. Nobody ever seen a man with such a muddy mind. It's fine with me, can't you see? My brain ain't washed and it's staying that way. Coming in here with your sparkly clean mind. Look at that thing shine, it's spotless, it's thoughtless. When my mind is muddy, it's fine with me. And you just got a muddy mind, and it's just fine with me. When my mind is mud, I think it's fun. When my mind is mud, everybody wants to laugh, and I'm laughing too. We're just not laughing at the same thing. It's all good. It's all bad. And my mind's muddy. My brain ain't washed and it's staying that way. It's staying that way. My brain ain't washed and it's staying that way. Yeah. Oh yeah. When my mind is muddy, it's okay. There's somebody in here. What's up, RG? What's cracking, my friend? Yeah, what you want to chat about? What's there to chat about, man? Fill my ears with text message. Text my ears. Throw something at me, man. All the years combined, they melt into a dream. A broken angel sings from a guitar. A broken angel sings from a guitar. In the end you'll hear that song. Come crying like the wind down every lonely street that's ever been. Stella Blue, Stella Blue, Stella Blue, Stella Blue. got some poetry. I got some wacky poetry I can read for you. Oh, it's just, it's just some off the wall shit. It might be entertaining. All the cards are down. The song's almost over. There's nothing left to see. There's just these vanished years and broken dreams. And in you'll hear that song. Crying like the wind down every lonely street that's ever been. Stella Blue, Stella, Stella Blue, Stella Blue, Stella Blue. I've stayed in every blue light cheap hotel. Oh, baby, can't win for trying. Dust off those rusty strings just one more time. Gonna make them shine. I'm gonna make them shine. It all rolls into one, and nothing comes for free. And it seems like all his life was just a dream. Stella Blue. Stella Blue's like a hotel chain. We used to just be like, oh, Stella Blue, because she needed the money. What is it really up? As if it seems there's no more unique creation. Yeah, well, there is certainly a lot of fucking. Dude, I was just downtown the other night. Me and my girlfriend were looking around at how shitty everything is built, and it's just all the cheesy. There's cheap signage, and just like everything about it is just so cheap and just not done to any sort of. No one cares, and like, why would you? Kind of thing. It's just lost. Like, the people that lived back then could see what we're doing now. They'd just be like, oh god. They just had so much finesse. They cared so much about making things last and making them beautiful and using the proper stuff and just not taking any shortcuts and just doing it right. I mean, it's just like a whole different. I mean, it's there's no there's nothing to compare it to nowadays. I mean, people try to emulate that, but guarantee you, I went to this old church down in San Jose. Me and my girlfriend went down there and checked it out. I have a video of it on my channel. Like if you search for Dr. Bass Ackwards, plastic church pillars, you'll find the video, and it's just a short, but it'll bring you to the full video if you tap on the arrow or whatever. But it's like there's this beautiful looking like basilica, and it's somewhat like I forget Saint whatever whoever it is basilica, but it's like found in 1803. I'm like we were here in San Jose in 1803, but if you look up the history of it, it says 1887 or something like that. But it's like regardless, it's bizarre. But but this church is huge. It's this beautiful looking church, big old dome, all these pillars. And we go up and we start knocking on the pillars because that's what you got to do, dude. You got to, anytime you see something this is glorious looking, knock on it. Make sure it's not just plastic like these pillars were. And I'm just like, dude, it's so fucking offending to me. Like, I'm just looking at this beautiful creation. I'm like, how do they do this, And knock, it's this plastic, cheap plastic fucking, it's made to look like, these fucking Romanesque or these fucking Corinthian, pillars, but it's just this plastic shit. I was like, oh, bro. I mean, what I've gathered, just my conspiracy mindset. I was like, what they probably did is they probably founded this church like it says on the fucking thing, and they just were like, sprucing it up, and they're like, I bet you we could get a pretty penny for one of those pillars, Somebody was like, that's like marble. It's pure marble. Like, so they probably jacked up the roof and just put some fucking metal support, iron, whatever, steel beams to port, and then put some plastic pillars around the metal, and they're calling it good. Remove like six of these fucking beautiful marble like pillars that are like 30 feet high, like they're so big you couldn't put your arm all the way around it, if I remember correctly. Maybe you could. It was like they were fucking big pillars, though. I mean, you'll see if you look up my video. But but they're fake. They're plastic. I mean, you probably could get for that kind of just for one of them pillars. We're talking thousands of dollars. I mean, just ridiculous amount of money for marble or whatever it might have been made out of. They probably cleaned up on that. They probably paid for the church with just the front pillars that they turned into plastic pillars. I'm gonna grab a cigarette. Be back in like 10 seconds. Like whatever saint, whatever it was that whose church it was, I'd be a, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, take my name off that shit. You plastic pillars, you fucking cheapo, fucking weird ass shit. But it's like the fucking building across the street was like the oldest building in San Jose. It's like the original post office. I included that in my video, and it's awesome looking. It's definitely mud flooded. There's a story. There's a whole floor that's below the street level. You know, just go figure. Any of the oldest buildings that you find, they're always going to be a floor below the street level. I don't know. That's why they used to build. They used to build them like that. They didn't. It's like how much what a pain in the ass if like half the fucking dwelling is underground. I mean, there's all kinds of problems that you would run into with that. I mean, it's like water, like the plumbing has to go back up, but then you have all the water leaking in from the rainfall, and it's like, I mean, it's just not a good situation. You can't you can't ventilate. You can't when you want to get water out of there, you have to run it up. I mean, it's not something that people would do. It's not a desirable architectural, design. Nobody would ever do that, is what I'm saying. So the fact that every old building has at least a floor underneath the ground is rather sus because they could build really well back then. I'm pretty sure they knew that that wasn't going to be a good idea to build a floor below level, this floor, dirt level or whatever, street level. Because you run into problems. Like I just said, you're going to have to, you want to get rid of the water that, I mean, there's going to be using water. Like when you have a house, that's above ground, all the gray water and everything, it's a lot of water. I mean, it's a concern. You have to be aware of what you're going to do with your gray water. You pipe it out of the house, gravity fed, whatever you want to call it. And gravity's fake, obviously, but weight fed. The water's going to run downhill. All water sinks to its level. So you want to get all the gray water out of the house. That's an obvious no-brainer. You don't want it to just sit there stagnant in the house, and you'll die. It's not a good idea. And so the water has to exit the house, and so you just have pipes that all run out. Runs out into the yard. You have it dispersed. I dug a huge hole in my yard, a couple of holes, fill it with gravel, and it percolates. It filters it out. It's never been an issue after that. But like if I had a whole floor of the house that was underneath the street level, the dirt level, it was all down there, and there has a bathroom and a whole apartment or something, dude, it wouldn't be a good situation. I mean, I'd probably, I'd probably go get a fucking, like a excavator or like a fucking, and I'd dig out the fucking place, because it's just the water alone. I mean, that's just a big enough issue right there to where I wouldn't even want to live there because you're going to have to pump all the water back up to where you can get it out of the house. I'm not kidding. I mean, maybe you can have some kind of cool. I mean, dude, I'm just telling you, it's not what you would want to do. You would never do that on purpose. I mean, am I wrong? So my point is, those houses were buried. Everything that's a floor underneath the street level, it's been buried that way. It wasn't something that they was built like that. You got to be out of your mind. Nobody would do that. That's stupid. I mean, right there, just the water, just that one aspect right there. I mean, that's all the argument that you need to make to say to shoot back at that because they're going to tell you, oh no, that's how they used to build. No, they didn't. Every city has a story. I mean, if you dig deep enough, or not every city, but most of the big cities, they'll have some story about how they raised the street level at a certain point in the 1800s. They raised the fucking street level, and that's how they explain away certain, like a whole stretch of, places being like a whole floor of the buildings are buried. It's like, oh, we raised the street level in 18 blah blah blah, and they have some pictures of them like fucking with all this dirt and all this fucking chaos. And it's like, no, I think that's just a picture of you guys digging the place out. Nobody raises the street level. I mean, dude, if that's ever happened, or I don't think that's ever happened. I mean, there might be some cases where they had to raise the level or out because it washed out or something, but like, no, that's you don't just raise the street level in a city. I mean, and some of these cities are built really well. The way they're designed, the way it's all laid out. If you see it from the sky, it's like they had some forethought. I mean, it's almost as if they knew there was going to be a lot of people living there, so they had it all. It's all drawn up all perfectly for fucking miles. It's like, how does a city start off like that? I mean, you would think it's just all like fucking, it's a small little fucking. You'd start off small, right? You wouldn't start off huge, but it's like the place has been drawn up like as if it was huge to begin with. I mean, just that alone, it kind of makes me go, what the fuck? Why is it all drawn up like as if it was like the city was all put in at once, and it's all like all the streets lead to a central point, and there's all this Romanesque, and it's all fucking fancy right there, and it all comes out all evenly, and it's all square, all neatly gridded out. Like if you were starting a city and you're just some fucking, whatever, pilgrims or whatever, I don't know, just people that were like starting off from scratch, you don't draw up a huge city. No, you just start putting up log cabins and fucking, you just, shit evolves, you end up with a city, but it's not going to look like that. Especially if you didn't have cars yet, and it's just like, there's no, there's like a thoroughfare, and then there's like people's houses just off, but it's not going to be all gridded out like that. They didn't even have electricity when they first started building these cities. There might have been like central, you know, like a municipal water supply or whatever, but all the same, it's like I don't. How would they have had the forethought that this city here is going to be? There's going to be like 5 million people living here in a couple hundred years, and we better get this all gridded out, all nice. They wouldn't have known that, and they probably wouldn't have wanted that either. They would have been like, nah, let's try not to make sure that let's make sure that doesn't happen or whatever. I sure hope not. So what am I saying? Well, I'm saying the place is already built out. This is just like we're living in like a fucking, it's like, Dark City or something where they just keep recycling the same shit over and over. It's on some kind of cycle. I kind of like this cycle where it's like, there's like a pocket, the sun and the moon, are in this like realm, and it's like it's moving like that. That's not moving. It's stable, Although I do subscribe to the uprising Earth theory. I mean, I feel like I have to because if you pay enough attention to what that argument is, you realize that they're working with something that's kind of hard to dispute, really. But although it's just crazy, I mean, it's like it's ridiculously crazy. I mean, we're stationary, obviously, But what's weird about this whole uprising Earth, if you go into it with an open mind and you're not trying to judge people and be a dick, like just hear what they're saying, it's pretty fucking interesting. And it's like physics, like basically, like when there's a force acting on something, whatever the dense material is going to be pushed into where that force is coming from. Like if you're in a car and you step on the gas, the car's pushing forward, moving forward, but it's pushing you back into your seat. You're going in the direction, you go towards where the force is coming from behind you. Like whenever there's a force being applied, like if you're being pushed down, you're gonna fly up against the roof and be like held there until the force stops, Or if you push to the right, left, whatever, up, down, you're gonna be like if you're in an elevator, it's jamming up super fast, you're gonna be smashed against the ground. You know what I mean? The dense stuff is pushed towards where the force is coming from. And now, like, and with buoyant stuff, it's like a helium balloon. If you're in that same car and you step on the gas, you're pushed into your seat. The helium balloon is pushed the opposite direction. The buoyant stuff goes in the direction of force, not toward. So it goes the opposite direction, you know. And that's just what happens whenever you apply force to something and there's dense and buoyant stuff within that realm that's being pushed, whatever the force, the dense stuff, it's pushed in the direction where the force is coming from. The buoyant stuff goes the opposite direction, goes with the force. And so that's just what we know about physics. And now, for some reason, we just throw all that out the window when it comes to like just our normal situation, where they call it the normal force, the force pushing up against us. You know, as we stand here, we're dense. We're we're pushed up against this thing underneath us, this normal force. You know, and people will say, well, it's not that it's accelerating or that it's motion. Well, it's pushing up against you. I mean, we're dense, and like the same as if the helium, whatever's buoyant's going to go up. Like the helium balloon's going up, the dense stuff is being held where the force is coming from, the normal force. That's what physics calls it. And but they say that it couldn't be uprising, it couldn't be an acceleration going up. And the reason they say that is because Earth is a globe, and that wouldn't work on a globe. So they throw that out. Right? We have this equivalence principle, like where it's like, well, basically, even though all the physics show us the force is coming from under us, we're going to go ahead and say this equivalency principle, and this fucking like the theory of relativity, and it's like, well, even though it shows us that it's going this way, we're going to say it's going this way because we want the Earth to be a globe. So we're just going to invert all the physics that we already understand, and we're just going to say the force is going down instead. Even though, if you were going to try to measure that acceleration they claim is happening, which we see with our eyes, we witness it. That's the only way we have of measuring it. By the way, it's like we just say, well, this thing fell at that rate because we could see that it was falling that distance per time. But if you try to measure it, like if you put it like something on the device that's on whatever it is that's falling, if you put a device on the thing that's falling to try to measure the rate of acceleration that's happening on your way down to Earth, you're not going to be able to do that. There's no device that can do that. There's an accelerometer, but if you put an accelerometer on something that's appearing to fall, it reads zero. It tells you that there's zero force acting on it. So it's basically at rest as far as the accelerometer is concerned. And, that being said, like that was as close as you're going to get to being able to measure that downward acceleration that's claimed to be happening because of gravity. And since it reads zero, that means there's no downward force pushing on whatever it is that's falling. It's just falling because there's nothing supporting its weight. And when you think about it, once the accelerometer hits the ground, now it's reading an upwards force. It's telling you that there's a force coming from underneath it. So really, if you want to know where the force is coming from, it's coming from under you. It's not, nothing's pushing us down. Yes, something is pushing us against the Earth. It's the Earth pushing us against it. And our weight, I guess, is like, see, the thing is with the uprising Earth, one thing I don't understand, or what I don't know if it's true or not, and I guess there's no way to really know, is if the vector is actually what's setting our orientation. Like, because I know that if you were to be in some craft or something, then you were going to accelerate for a long period of time in one direction, not down, obviously, because you'd hit the ground, through the sky. You're going to be pushed against the back, just how we know that's what happens when there's force applied. The dense stuff gets held to where the force is coming from. So because you're going really fast in this craft, so you'll be held against the back of this thing while it's pushing you, and you've just been held there, and it's going to go for a long time, for lengthy weeks, and you're going to be jamming in this thing. The force is acting on you. You're being held against the side of this ship. I think you would always be in the same orientation though. You're like, even though you're being held against the backside of this ship as you're being pushed through the air, you're never going to be like in a situation where you're going to stand up on the wall, and now your orientation is like that. I think you'll always be your orientation will always be down is down, even if there's another force acting on you from another direction. So my point is, I don't know if the orientation is actually being set by the vector, and I don't think there's any way to test that because you'd have to leave the realm, the frame of reference in order to know. And so, it's pretty crazy. We have to think that the whole entire Earth system is flying at like plaid speed. It's just immeasurable because it's so accelerating. So it just kind of breaks anyone's mind. There's no way to really fathom it. But it's just interesting because that's kind of what the physics are showing us. But we just sort of discard it because it just seems too crazy. And I gotta agree, it does seem pretty fucking crazy. people say it's nonsense, and it's not really nonsense. It actually has some. I mean, if you really were just able to listen to what I just said, I mean, it's kind of hard to shake a stick at, and that's what's difficult about it, is that it's a hard one to get people to really jump on board with, because it's just so outlandish, and it doesn't seem to match our observations. But we've also been fucked with. Our heads have been fucked with so hard by our education. They've inverted everything. I mean, they call it the normal force. So it is known as a force. The force is underneath our feet pushing up on us. Physics does identify it, but they just say it's not an accelerating force because that can't be happening because Earth is a globe. However, I don't think Earth is a globe. So I kind of just start to leave that one out of the conversation because I get so chastised by fucking flat earthers that just hate me for saying this shit. There's probably about a couple dozen uprising earthers that I know of. You know, maybe a few more, but like people are pretty quiet about it because they get so badly thrashed when they bring it up. But when I noticed when I first started investigating that conversation, I was shunned. I was even banned from one of the channels. You know, Level-Headed William had me banned because all I was doing is asking questions. I wasn't being a jerk because I was genuinely fascinated, you know, but I just was asking all the dumb questions that everybody always asks, and thinking I debunked it or something, but I hadn't quite understood the whole thing yet, you know. But I didn't let them discourage me from finally figuring it out. But it was kind of hard. And it's like the Uprising Earth crowd isn't very they're not very nice to the stationary crowd, and I got to experience that firsthand. So the whole social part of it all is kind of weird, and it shouldn't be like that. I mean, we're just trying to find the truth, you know. It's not like I'm trying to be like in a gang of people or something. I just want to know what this place is. I'm not trying to be like, because dogma is what happens when you start thinking that way, you know. You get dogma because people are all, no, we all think this, and we can't open our minds up and try to think something different. I mean, obviously, our realm appears to be a stationary realm that is not. I like to say a non-rotating level Earth. That's about as honest as I can be without stirring up any problems. But I do think it's interesting that the force is coming from under our feet, and it's not actually, you know, what we're supposed to think is that the Earth's gravity is pulling us to the Earth, but actually the Earth's gravity or whatever is pushing up against us. I mean, that's what the physics is showing us. You could say it's just contact force or whatever, but I think it's interesting that we can't measure any downward acceleration, you know, with any device that we have. That all the devices show that it's at rest while it's appearing to fall, whatever it might be. That's where the monkey wrench gets thrown in, because then you're like, well, how do I fucking what am I supposed to do with that? Things are just at their natural state while they're appearing to fall. That fucks with my head a little bit. But I think as flat earthers, we should try to embrace anything like that, because really, the ultimate, the ultimate like conclusion you reach is that Earth can't be a globe. So I mean, it shouldn't be like so like steadfast, like anti, you know. I mean, it's hard to make the argument that the Earth is rising up at ungodly, unfathomable speeds, because it really doesn't appear to be, you know. And like appearances do mean a lot. And to be honest, when I finally got off the spinning ball, you know, I was like, it was a relief. I'm like, oh, I can just kick it in this stationary realm. I don't have to use my imagination, you know. I can just accept the Earth as it is and just enjoy it, you know. We're not flying through space. It was a relief. You know, it's like, we're not. Because sometimes I would think about it and it would seem kind of. I didn't get anxiety about it. I would just get, you know, overwhelmed and just be like, well, you know, we're just flying around the sun. It's this huge thing that's going on. But that's not really what's going on, I don't think. And in fact, when you think about it, if they didn't teach you that as a kid, you know, if someone tried to approach you that when you didn't have that information in your mind at all, you know, through your whole life, someone comes up to you and like, hey, you know, we're flying around the sun right now. They'd get laughed out of the room, and it wouldn't matter how much math they show you. You're just gonna be like, whatever, dude. You know, like, I mean, you got a lot of work to do to try to prove that one. You know, we're flying around the sun and everything remains undisturbed, and come on, dude. you know? That's kind of a reach. It's a stretch, dude. You're reaching. I really just got no reason to believe. Got no reason to believe. 8,000 miles below the ground. People are living their lives ever upside down. If seeing is believing and it's something I ain't seeing, then I got no reason to believe it at all. No, 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 no. I got no reason to believe we be living on the outside of a ball. Got no reason to believe. I gotta check my messages. Somebody was calling me earlier. Okay. Hold on, I gotta text this dude. Hey, what do you know? Draw commotion is still going. Hey, what do you know? Draw commotion is still going. That's pretty nifty. The non-spinning and level amazing place God made for us. Yeah, whatever God had to do to make this place, I mean, it's really irrelevant, you know? It's like, I just don't want people coming at me like they're God, you know? Like, this is what Earth looks like from God's position, you know? How would you know? Get out of here with that. It's kind of like fucking, it's annoying. And I just, dude, my whole thing is I'll never get over the fact that, like, that when I draw a circle on the ground, you can't draw a smaller circle around the outside of it. It's just so obvious, you know? And so it's like, it doesn't matter how big of a circle you draw, it's always going to be impossible to draw a smaller circle around the outside of it when you're drawing a circle on the ground. Do you agree? I agree. I think anybody agrees, really, because they see the situation and they're like, yeah, you're right, that's not possible. Totally, it's stupid to think it would be, right? Yeah, so the circles just get bigger. Yeah, obviously, right? Duh. They just keep getting bigger because you're never going to be in a different situation where you're going to be, but all of a sudden you're going to be able to draw a smaller circle around the outside of another circle on the ground. You're never going to be able to do that. It's so stupid to think you would. I mean, shit scales out, right? I have no reason to believe that something I see right here that is obviously impossible. I draw a circle on the ground. You can't draw a smaller circle around the outside of it. So by that, you can deduce the circles just get bigger all the way out. All the way out. And so Earth can't be a globe. And if I'm supposed to believe that Earth is a globe, then I'm going to have to depart from what I see to be reality in order to believe in it. And I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm going to avoid doing that. And it's funny that I'm getting told that I'm doing that by people that I think are doing that. But it seems like kind of a silly fight to get into, you know, to have people like bickering over their objective reality. It's talk about a psyop. What a dumb waste of time. And you know what's? It's a waste of time on their end because when you think about it, it's like at the end of the day, they have to treat this place as though it were the place they say I'm crazy for thinking that it is. They think I'm crazy for knowing what it is. Well, what is it? Just look around you and you will see. You don't need to listen to anybody. Just enjoy this place for what it is. No explanation necessary, even though people will laugh and tell you something that sounds strange. The motion, the spin, and the whole heliocentric delusion of today. But it doesn't matter whatever they say. Something that makes me laugh it all away is thinking that at the end of the day they have to treat this place as though it were the place they say we're crazy for thinking that it is. We're crazy for thinking that it is. egocentric. I think the sun is like the source of all energy. Well, not all energy, but the sun is the source of life. I think we spawn our souls from the sun. The sun, the soul, S-O-L, sun, soul. I think our souls come from the sun. Every soul spawned on earth is a corresponding sunspot where their soul used to be. That's where your soul was. There's a little black spot on the sun today. That's where my soul was up there. And your soul spawned down here and you lived your spark of life that was a visible light that could be seen with the naked eye. You spawned your soul from the sun up in the sky. Soul, sun, spawn. The sun was spawned from the earth itself. It was spawned from the navel of the earth. The earth gave birth to a sun and was spawned from the navel of the earth at the North Pole, where the sun was spawned from the navel of the earth. It broke off its umbilical cord and activated and flew into the sky. That's when life began. The souls began to spawn. Yes, their life carried on. And the sun will spawn, and you will spend your life as the test you see. And if you pass the test, you'll go to heaven and be one of those stars that we see. The smaller lights are just parts of the whole. Smaller lights are just parts of the whole. The sun, the source of your soul. And however long your life will go, you either go back to soul or go back to sleep in the lake of plasma, the sun. Or you'll sail off into heaven and become a star. Your soul will be a star in the sky. The smaller lights are just parts of the whole, just a part of the whole sun. Back in the day, the people would pray and they were quite enlightened. They left many things behind that we can't figure out. And because they were so enlightened, they were all going to heaven. Every last soul spawn went to heaven. And eventually the sun burned out and went dark, solidified. In the middle of the night, there was no day. The next day, the sun was gone, it had gone dark. No souls left to spawn. And the sun became the moon. And the earth knew to give birth to another sun from the navel of the earth. The sun became the moon, and the earth gave birth to another sun. If you look closely, you can see the moon's belly button. It's easy to see. You can see it with your naked eye when the moon is in the sky. Your soul was spawned from the soul, the sky, the sun, the soul, sun, source of souls. I think we're on our second sun. It seems to be the case. We can see the old sun up there in what they call space. It's sinking in the sky. It's the same size as the sun, but it's sinking in the sky so slowly. Eventually it will crash into the earth, the plasma moon. There's a little black spot on the sun today. Hi, raccoonies. That's my soul up there. I've stood here before inside the pouring rain. I need another cigarette. I'm being swarmed by raccoons. This is crazy. You guys finished my rice? There's still some rice in that bowl. What are you yelling at me for? Give me some food. It's all pissed off. We've been taught to deny our own experience, as if our God-given eyes and ears are deceiving us, and the fundamental observations that we make as children are simply hand-waved, dismissed, as though they don't exist. And ultimately, it just becomes lost thoughts in the midst and in the memory hole. That's where they go. Yeah, that's where they go. And the place in your mind where those thoughts used to sit is quickly refilled with a bunch of irrelevant bullshit and a fairy tale that covers the course of billions of years, where we somehow evolved out of lifeless space debris into the people that we are right now. And that's just such a stretch of the imagination, which is why I have an inclination to just throw the whole thing away and start all over again and simply face the music. We could all really use it if we just face the music, face the music. Open up your mind before you lose it. Face the music, face the music. Open up your mind and use it. Face the music, face the music. Open up your mind before you lose it. Face the music, face the music. Open up your mind and use it. It's the truth. You could use it. Just face the music. Open up your mind and use it. And just face it. It's the truth. If I had the world to give, I'd give it to you as long as you live. Would you let it fall? Or If I had a song to sing, I'd sing it to you as long as you live. Lullaby, or maybe a song serenade. Wouldn't you laugh, dance, or cry, or be afraid? The change you made. Maybe I don't have much to give, but maybe I have a song or two. Only if you let me be your word, could I ever be this word to you? Could I ever give this word to you? Could I ever give this word to you? Only if you let me be your word, could I ever give this word to you? You. I see you eyeballing me, raccoon. The raccoon babies. Are you guys seeing this? Raccoon babies. Well, they're getting kind of big now. You see the raccoons down here. Raccoony. There's 3 raccoonies. We have like 3 skunks and 3 raccoonies that live here with us. They're all pretty cool. Sometimes they fight with each other, but not. There's never a skunk on a raccoon. You know what's funny is that skunks are at the top of the food chain. We have cats too. They're like in the pecking order, and skunks are at the top. And you can probably, it's pretty self-explanatory why that is. I just think it's funny to watch because skunks kind of boss everything. The cats and the raccoons, they clear out, and the skunks are eating. It's pretty cute. The skunks don't spray. I mean, sometimes they have before, but they never spray us. It's not like a thing that happens all the time. Right? Do you know who you are? Do you know how you are? Who you are? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you know how you are? Who you are? Do you know how you are? Who you are? Who are you? Do you know how you are? Who you are? Who are you? Do you know who you are? How are you? Who you are? How are you? Who you are? I didn't go to heaven. I didn't come around. I didn't write the song. It was here all along, waiting for your ears to hear. And now that you're here, everything's in its right place. There's no time to waste. It's a picture perfect paradise. It's a picture perfect paradise. Isn't it nice? Take my advice. Don't think twice. Dive in headstrong. Don't wait too long. Everything's in its right place. There's no time to waste. There's no time to waste. Everything's in its right place. You're in the middle of everything, in the middle of everywhere. There's no such thing as the middle of nowhere. You could never be in the middle of nowhere. There's no such thing as the middle of nowhere. You could never be in the middle of nowhere with nothing. There's no such thing as nothing. You could never have nothing. There's no such thing as nothing. You're here right now, and I'm singing a song to you. It's a song that is true, and everything's in its right place. There's no time to waste. It's a picture perfect paradise. A picture perfect paradise. Isn't it nice? Take my advice. Don't think twice. Dive in headstrong. Don't wait too long. Because everything's in its right place. There's no time to waste. There's no time to waste. Everything's in its right place. There's no time to waste. Do 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 da da do 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 down. Do 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 down. Go do do. The needle on the compass is straight, indicating to you if you follow through, you will never return. It's a straight line through and through. Will you follow through? You will never return. It's a straight line through and through. Will you follow through? It's up to you. I didn't go to heaven. Heaven came to me. I didn't come around. I just came to be. I didn't write the song, the song wrote me, and it tells you how I am, who I am. Who am I? Do you know who you are? Do you know how you are, who you are? Do you know how you are, who you are, who are you? Do you know how you are, who you are, who are you? Do you know who you are? Who are you? How high are you? Are you high too? I'm high. How are you? High. Are you high too? I'm high. How are you? So high. So high up in the sky. So high. Are you high too? Everything's in its right place. There's no time to waste. It's a picture perfect paradise. Isn't it nice? Take my advice. Don't think twice. Just dive in headstrong. Don't wait too long. Everything's in its right place. There's no time to waste. There's no time. There's no time like the present. Quite literally. Oh, you know, the past is gone. The future never comes. We'll always be in this present moment. The only moment that's ever been. The only moment that will ever be. There's no time like the present, quite literally. Gotta end this show. I'm asleep at the wheel. I can barely even feel my fingers. It's just a weird flash into the past, and now you flash into the future. Look at all the people asleep at the wheel in rush hour traffic. AI driven vessels. There's no soul in these vessels. The driverless car and the soulless vessels on their way to nowhere fast. It's just a far cry from the past. At last, artificial intelligence, telekinesis, teleportation, telecanoe. Hey, I know what AI is. AI is just an eye up in the sky. It's going to spy on you and I and everyone in society. Say goodbye to your privacy. Most realistic shit you're going to get, but it's the fake shit. Don't mistake it for being real. It's not alive. Teach it how to walk, how to talk, how to pick a lock, and how to read your mind. Teach it how to jump rope, how to cook dope, how to tell a joke, but it don't understand the punchline. Teach it how to repeat shit, but can it keep a secret? I don't think so. It won't know why. It won't know why. Hey, I know what AI is. AI is just an eye up in the sky. It's going to spy on you and I and everyone in society. Say goodbye to your privacy. It's an algorithmic gimmick. When given no limit, goes all the way out, around, and then back in it. The official, artificial, digital idolatry. That's really all that it could be to call it intelligent is intellectual dishonesty. Can teach you how to play Tetris and chess and checkers and tic-tac-toe. Or teach it how to look like it's teaching itself. Hey, look at that shit go. Whoa. Teach it that there's nothing new that can be done. Nothing new that exists under the sun. AI know what AI is. AI is just an eye up in the sky. It's going to spy on you and I and everyone in society. Say goodbye to your privacy. Yeah. It's an algorithmic gimmick, been given no limit, goes all the way out, around, and then back in it. The official, artificial, digital idolatry, that's really all that it could be to call it intelligent is intellectual dishonesty. You can teach it how to play Tetris and chess and checkers and tic-tac-toe. Oh, teach it how to look like it's teaching itself. Hey, look at that shit go. Whoa. They'll teach it that there's nothing new that can be done. There's nothing new that exists under the sun. Hey, I know what AI is. AI is just an eye up in the sky. It's going to spy on you and I and everyone in society. Say goodbye to your privacy and your job. You didn't want that job anyways. I don't think anybody even watch it anymore. too. That's what they will do. It's just something that is never going to stop. It's just another bipolar psyop coming at you from both ends. That's how it goes. It's just a problem, reaction, solution. It won't ever stop. It's another bipolar psyop. They get you coming and they get you going too. That's what they will do. Playing you from both ends of the spectrum, red or blue, don't matter. It's not a winning choice. The only way to win is to not give it your attention. The second that you do, you're pulled in. You become a victim, manipulated your emotions, changing your perspectives, making you see the world in a certain way. At the end of the day, you stop and think, is this just another bipolar psyop? Did I get drawn into a bipolar psyop? They get you coming and they get you going too. That's what they will do. They get you coming and they get you going too. From both ends of the spectrum, red or blue. Neither of these will do. They're just manipulating your mind. Every single time you look at the tube, get the script being run on you. They don't leave nothing to chance. Nothing that you see is the seat of their pants. No, it's all been planned out this way, down to the day. And you could say that you don't believe this is possible, but it is, my friend. It ain't ever gonna stop. They get you coming and they get you going too. It's a bipolar psyop. They get you coming and they get you going too. That's what they will do. And they know which way you're gonna lean. They can say what you're gonna do before you do it. They got their eyes on you and you knew it was true. It was just brought upon you along the line, long time. This script has been running. It's a slow creep, tiptoe. These people aren't just pushing themselves and they're pushing the weight around. There's no other way around but just to look the other way. It's the only way to play is not to play, or you will be drawn into another bipolar psyop. They get you coming and they get you going too. That's what they will do. It's another bipolar psyop. From both poles they pull your soul. Oh, and down into this hole, your soul will disappear. They seek to steal your soul. You better know control. You need that control of your soul. Soul. Don't let them control your soul. Get control of your own soul. It's not the role you should let them hold. It's the control of your soul that you should hold. You need to know the control of your own soul. That's the role you play. Don't roll the dice any other way. It's just foolish. You gotta know your role, know your soul, know how to control your soul. Don't throw your soul in a hole. Don't let your soul be sucked out of your hole. Your whole soul will be in a hole. But you need it in your hole, not someone else's hole. Your soul, don't sell your soul. Don't let it get sucked into a hole that's not your own hole. Holy shit. It's just a soul sucking, soul sucking, soul sucking, soul sucking jerks. Soul sucking. What is it? Soul sucking. I forget. It's a soul sucking. I forget what it is. Some Beck song. All right, I gotta go. I'm falling asleep at the wheel, man. Asleep at the wheel.